Hello, once again, this is Stan Husted, the master entrepreneur. Well, at least seeking to be, trying to discover and teach and help others do what it takes. And from time to time, just a few things I'd like to show, or what I sometimes say with a smile, a few showings from Stan. Today, I would like to just take a few minutes to introduce you to something that could take a long time of teaching, but it could be very vital. But hopefully in this 10 or 12 minutes you can discover if this interests you. Because what we want to do is to help men and women who are seeking in this post-COVID world. Literally PC, this PC world, which has in effect put an end to a lot of political correctness. Because the post-COVID world is going to call us to live quite differently and perhaps a lot more honestly and authentically. And many of us will have to speak the truth rather than what is politically correct. Here's what I just like to put forward is that as we go forward, there are 7 new realities. Now, it's not new that these are new things, but they are new realities for how we will have to deal with the life and business that's before us. First of all, our recovery. Many of us are not in the building mode anymore. We are in the recovery mode. What we had got lost. It was fine. It was going well. But all of a sudden, now we've gone backwards. And we have to recover. And building is one thing in good times, recovering in not so good times, particularly in bad times, and even by its very nature, recovery is much more difficult than seeking to start anew and build in many cases. Sometimes we have no choice, we have to start new and build, but in this case, the start new and build is also a part of the recovery. So, how do we do recovery? We're also going to have to re-entrepreneur our business. I've had someone call me who literally worked with me a number of years ago and became quite successful and did very, very well, and they really didn't find that what we had done was necessary for them anymore, and I can certainly understand that, and off they went. But now, she said very kindly, you helped me to entrepreneur and make my business what it is, but we're going to have to redo it and renew it and re-entrepreneur it once again. And that's exactly right. We are in a process of going back to the beginning. Everybody is an entrepreneur again. They're going to have to recover and create something that is different than before. Re-entrepreneur. Renewed relationships. We're going to have to get better at the people thing. Yes, how do we work with new customers, new clients, old customers, old clients? How do we treat other people? Our working and business relationships. All of those things have changed. We don't shake hands anymore. How do we do relationship work in the new post-COVID era, and how long will this special distancing and these special requirements that supposedly we have to build into the world and business that we live in? As one of my friends said, I've been in the business of holding and lecturing and speaking to large groups, and I've been in the business of entertaining them. Well, they may not be interested in the entertaining anymore, and obviously they won't come together in a large group. How do we do our business and people relationships? They're going to have to be new in many respects. And you see, I'm using all R's. Recovery, re-entrepreneur, renewed relationships. Well, this is kind of another R too. Radio and broadcast systems. Exactly. What I'm doing here is just seeing you and you hearing me through a form of radio. It's radio with pictures. But we communicate over long, long distances using what we call radio that's been around now for about 100 years. In fact, the first radio programs began in 1920. By the way, radio as we know it will probably disappear. And I will be talking to my radio friends about that, and it's not a happy story for them because traditional radio as we know it will probably go by the boards. But the new radio of conferencing and educating and connecting, that's why I say every business has to have a microphone, they have to have a studio, and they have to have a means to be on the radio. The video work, the podcasting, the broadcasting, the conferencing, the connecting with people through radio will have to be renewed and revisited and perhaps begun for the first time. Rituals. One of my mentors has said, we have become so practical and casual that we have forgotten the power of the ritual, that we are a ritual-starved society. And the experience of all faith traditions and of all things that have flowed out of how people have lived well in the past was that the society, the culture, the civilization had strong rituals which people adhered to, believed in, followed. Certainly there were challenges to them, and that's part of how new rituals develop. But what will be some of the rituals that you will build into your life and business? Perhaps new ones in reflections of old ways, maybe brand new altogether. But there's going to have to be a ritual sense, because that's what we are made for. That's the human condition. We are ritual people. We have routines. We have regiments. We also need rituals. I'm also going to encourage you to understand that every good story is a rescue story. And part of what life is about is rescuing what was lost. Rescuing what we had and have no more. The rescuing of people, of businesses, of traditions, of morality. Right now, the political environment in America and in much of the world needs rescuing. How do we rescue that we will have civil and quality and hopefully less corruption? What is the rescue work that has to be done in your life and in your business and in the organizations you work with? Right now I'm going through a major rescue operation with an organization. Poor leadership, bad situations, chaos and destruction and confusion. But the idea is good, and we've got to rescue it. Then there has to be new realizations. And again, these are not necessarily new things, but once again, we have to renew them. Here it is. A new realization that you cannot do it alone. We are not meant to be solitary in place for long, long times. Good businesses have to have people who do things together. One of my colleagues, a mentor, said, yeah, Warren Buffett is quite wealthy. Well, he ought to be. He's got 300,000 people working for him. We cannot do it alone. We will always need some kind of outside help. And that outside help may be other people, but it might be transcendent. In fact, I'm convinced it is transcendent. The material, physical world is not enough. To believe so is somewhat incompetent thinking and maybe stupid. The world and the universe is full of powers and forces and things, and we will have to find ways to tap into some of the power and some of the forces that I believe God, and you got to figure out and find out and discover who God is for you and where you're going with that and what you're going to do about it, but you will always need some outside help. As the first step in AA is, you're in a mess and you can't get out of it by yourself. That also leads me to number 7.3, the third new realization of 7 new realizations. Prayer matters. Prayer is one of the most important and powerful things in the universe. And you may or may not be, quote, a religious person or a believer or a follower of any such thing, but I'm going to challenge you with the truth, the truth claim that prayer matters. It's important. And that's a new realization which you're going to have to deal with. So there we go. There we are, my friends. 7 new realities: recovery, re-entrepreneur, renewed relationships, radio. You got to have a radio system. New rituals, the rescue imperative, and new realizations. Can't do it by yourself. You need outside help, and it's oftentimes way outside help, and prayer matters. Those are some of the truths that I've discovered in a life of all kinds of work, and obviously they have come to me in greater focus as a result of this COVID crisis. Now I know more than I knew before, and it has helped me to understand that there's a whole lot more I need to know, and so do you. All the best and blessings. Perhaps we can learn those good and new things together. I wish you all the best as we seek to make our mark in the post-COVID world. Take care. Stay safe. All will be well. May it go well for you, and we'll be back.